What's up, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with NIO, Tesla, SPY, and the overall markets. I'll talk about some very important levels to watch for and some interesting patterns that are developing on these charts. And what's happening with tomorrow is we have new developments that are coming out. But just note that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Webull link. If you deposit any amount of money, you're guaranteed 12 free stocks. If you deposit $500, you're guaranteed 20 in total. Deposit $25,000 or more and you're guaranteed 75. The offer ends very soon, in just about 10 days from now. Anyways, now let's talk about what's happening with NIO. So one thing worth mentioning is that on the monthly time frame, we do have a tendency of filling our imbalances. So we had this imbalance over here. NIO pumped back in July of 2022. Then we started to dip back down to fill it. We had an imbalance up here. We dipped a bit, and then we got a nice push up to fill this imbalance on the monthly time frame. You guys can see it right over there. Then we had this bar right here. This also filled this gap down below as we saw a dip. Another bar up, followed by a bar down. And then we had this bar up, followed by a bar down. So it looks to me like these bars are likely going to fill, and there is a risk of NIO dipping quite a bit lower if we lose $5 of support. And there is that risk of downside. So I want to give you guys a warning about that. When we look at the daily time frame, I also want to mention that we are still looking a little bit more weak here. We're losing our key EMAs and we still look bearish. So there's still that risk of us getting close to $5. We'll have to see if that holds or not. When you look at the 4-hour time frame, we are also looking a little bit more bearish as we're seeing more and more of these sellers stepping in. So I want to give you guys another heads up about that. The chart remains bearish as it is. The closer we get to $5, though, the more likely it is for this to try to base. But I'll give this some more time to develop. Now, for other factors out there, I just want to mention that for data involving the markets, for tomorrow is going to be Tuesday, October 22nd, 2024. We don't really have much. We just have Hartley giving a speech at 10 o'clock a.m. Then we have some manufacturing numbers coming out from the Richmond Fed. And besides that, there's not really a whole lot else that's coming out. Now, for Tuesday, just know that we have Verizon announcing their earnings before market open. Then we have GM and then 3M all announcing their earnings tomorrow morning. This is all going to be very important for energy and communications. So we'll see how things end up going. And also consumer discretionaries. For Wednesday, we just have Boeing, AT&T, and Coca-Cola announcing earnings in the morning. And then after the market closes, we have Tesla and IBM. So we have two important earnings dates coming out, but tomorrow is going to be more important for like a different sector. The market still thinks there's about an 87% chance we get that 50 basis point cut in November, and about a 13% chance we get 25 basis points. For NIO, there's been some talk right over here about how NIO has once again this very important delivery center. I was awarded the winner in workplace interior by the globally renowned architecture master prize in the field of architectural design. So good stuff for them. That's very, very interesting for them as they're getting a lot of attention. And on top of this, we're starting to see a lot more exposure because once again, it's giving us more and more abilities to connect with their customers and then make those deliveries. On top of this, NIO is maintaining that the 2025 Firefly launch in Europe is going to be coming, despite the tariffs. Europe is obviously expanding tariffs on China, just like how the U.S. has been planning to do so. So, right, despite that, NIO is saying that they're going to continue to persevere in Europe. That's a big, bold claim by them, and they're going to be once again launching the brand in December 21st of 2024. So very, very interesting stuff. Firefly is going to be another big winner for them, in my opinion, as they start to get a lot more exposure. And once again, it's going to be very useful for European families. But we'll see when they officially launch it. It should be coming out very, very soon. Volume is currently at about 35 million. That's a little bit below average, which is why it's kind of lackluster. And analysts remain kind of neutral on the share price. The price price ratio is dipping as NIO is losing strength compared to the market. And in terms of seasonality, we tend to see more volatility on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and the later days of the week. So just want to call that out, but that's all I'm seeing, at least for the share price thus far. For other factors out there, just know that NIO is on a bit of a downtrend, looks a little bit more bearish as we're making lower highs and lower lows. We need to reclaim and try to get back above 5.5 to turn back up, but this is at risk of dipping all the way down towards 5 flat. So I want to give you guys a warning, this might dip a little bit more. So please keep that in mind. The closer we get to 5, the more likely it is we try to base, but look for a little bit more downside towards 5, and we'll see if this could get a bounce or not. But overall, despite the neutral ratings, NIO still looks more bearish. Now, in comparison to SPY is looking a little bit more bullish. And the reason for that is because of the fact that we're actually holding up this support right here. So we have our 20 EMA at 582.5. We dipped to that today only to rebound. If we lose 582.5, we're looking for a bigger dip. And if we hold this, we could look for a rebound back up towards the 585 area. There's a good chance that we do see SPY attempt to rebound for the mid 585s, close to all-time highs. So we'll have to see how things end up going, but there's a good chance this attempts to do so. For ES, it's the same thing essentially. ES is doing a good job at holding its support. This is going to be our 20 EMA, so we're trying to hold that up quite well. I think there's a good chance that that attempts to act as our support. So if we hold the 20 EMA, we're looking for a big push for the 5900 area. So far, we're doing a good job at getting bought back up, and the odds do favor that bounce for tomorrow. For Nvidia is breaking out right now, which is helping the market hold up. As long as Nvidia does not lose 142, it's continuing to pump, and there's no sign of weakness yet. So this chart is favoring the mid 140s, if not even the higher levels. For Bitcoin remains a little bit more bullish. I think there's a very, very good chance that this continues the nice pump right over here. So we bounced off our 50 EMA, and this could slow down a bit and start pushing up for that 68,000 area. We'll see if that breaks or not. But so far, it's doing a very, very good job. For other tickers out there, we also happen to have stocks such as like Tesla. Now, I just want to mention that Tesla is very flat. I'm not expecting much until we get to earnings, which is just 2 days away. So expect a lot of sideways price action between 215 and about 220, and then we'll see how things end up going from here. But just keep that in mind, guys. That's what I'm seeing, at least for the way the share prices are moving. Keep that in mind. And with that being said, I think that that's what Tesla's going to most likely do. Now, with Nvda, Apple, and the others pumping, I think there's a very, very good chance we see the same thing going on for NQ. As long as you don't lose 20,462, this favors 20,500 again. Still looks a little bit more bullish, and we could be looking for 20,600. For the QQQ, we're looking more bullish. We're holding support very, very nicely. As long as 492 does not break, this favors us. Going to try to push it for 496. Nvidia is helping to carry this alongside Apple. As long as Apple does not lose 235, we could be retesting 237. I do want to mention the last time we had 237, we rejected. In fact, that every time we've hit that, we'd have gone rejections. So we'll see how it reacts to that, but look for a little bit more upside closer to 237. We'll see if it rejects or not. Just going to go over a few more. We have the IWM looking a little bit more bearish right here. It's continuing to sink. We have 220 as the main support. It might dip closer to 220 before it tries to bounce. So just be very mindful of that. AMD, on the other hand, is looking very interesting to me because it's continuing to try to rebound with Nvidia. We haven't lost 155, so we're looking for 158 as our resistance. If this breaks, we're looking for a closer move to 160. We still have that gap below to fill, so it could make a lower high and then eventually drop later. But for now, look for a little bit more upside. As far as the notorious Coinbase goes, I just want to say that Coin is doing a good job at holding up. As long as 207 does not break, this is still favoring an uptrend. Might dip for 205, or I'm sorry, 210 before it tries to rebound. But I do think it's going to chop around in this range for some time. For Amazon, we're just trading sideways. We'll have to see if 190 breaks. We could hit 190. We'll see if it rejects or not. But once again, there is potential in that. For Meta is also doing a pretty good job at holding up. We dipped all the way down towards the 570 area. And then we basically had a falling wedge-like structure that ended up developing. So sorry about this. I think this is lagging a little bit for me. But I just want to say the chart's still here. So when you look at the charts, let me just pull up these lines. This is like a falling wedge that's developing on Meta. If we break out of this, we're going to be looking for a move back into the 580s. And if we reject, we're going to be dipping. It does look like it wants to bounce. So just be mindful that we might see a bounce on Meta. There is most definitely potential for that to essentially pan out. With that being said, guys, Microsoft and Google both have some upside potential for 420 and also 166. So I see potential in the market to try to push higher. So please keep that in mind. With that being said, I want to say I just appreciate you guys so much for listening. Please have a great day. I'll see you guys very soon on the next one. As far as NIO goes, it's going to be a little bit lackluster compared to the market, so make it very close to $5 flat. And we'll see if it gets some kind of bounce or not off that area. But like I said before, I just want to say I really appreciate you guys so much for listening. You guys are very special to me, and I'll see you guys very soon on the next one. Thanks again, and peace out.